Konnichiwa everybody, and welcome back to another episode, and we're on another pickups episode. These pickups, as I've said in the previous few, I'm so behind, and it's only getting worse just lately. But we'll keep plodding on, and eventually we might catch up. But anyway, as Russ alluded to in his latest pickups video, this weekend just gone, I met up with a few guys on a bit of a game, hunting tour type thing. So although it's, you know, that's the stuff I've picked up most recently, I'm going to sort of throw that in with today's, just so as I don't forget, really, you know, because the old memory's not what it was. And we'll see how we go. I'll eventually hope to get through everything I've got a backlog of to show you, but it is what it is. So yeah, Saturday just gone. Met up with Russ, the mighty Retro Bear, and also Retro Kit John. First time I'd met John. Great to meet you, mate. Really enjoyed the day, and John was also there with his partner, and another guy called Mike, who turned out to be John's mate, who I'd never met before, obviously, but seemed a great guy. Great to meet him as well. And you know, it was a great sort of morning or afternoon, if you like. Went round a couple of shops. Started at Vintage Gamer, which is a great shop. Not been for a few months myself. Just busy and one thing and another. And I don't go mega regular because obviously, you know, I buy import stuff and there's not too much import stuff there. So I like to leave it a bit to give time for things to change. But anyway, it was brilliant meeting up with the guys, and after we went to Vintage Gamer and got a few items in there, they then moved on to Sega Supplies, which I'd not been to before. That was another good shop. Really grateful. The owner, I believe he's called James. I think from memory. But you know, he allowed us in the back, and obviously he didn't know me from Adam, but because I was with the other guys who he knew, he was very kind to let me in there as well. I had a great sort of trawl round there, but couldn't find anything to suit me on that particular occasion. But hopefully I'll go back and meet up with, you know, the guys again with a bit of luck, because as I say, it was a great day. But anyway, where was I? Yeah, it was a great day. Passed on a couple of things to Russ that I found that I'd got no use for, and Russ could put you to much better use than me. And we all pick stuff up. I'm sure they'll show it in their videos as Russ has. So anyway, I think what I'll do, I'll start with the stuff I got on this on Saturday just gone, and I'll start with the stuff I got in Vintage Gamer. Now it's absolute, you know, treasure trove of items ranging from all you know, eras of gaming. So I've picked up, what did I pick up? I've picked up some Spectrum. I've picked up some Saturn, a PlayStation, and a Wii game. So I think we'll start with the Spectrum first. Now the 8-bit micro stuff at Vintage Gamer, you know, you've got to go digging for it. But luckily there'd been some boxes got down, as Russ referred to in his video, so it'd be great to have a bit more time to do that actually, and hunt down some other Spectrum classics that look interesting. And the first one I've picked up anyway is this one, which is Alternative World Games by Gremlin. Now I remember playing this back in the day, and I'm sure it was my mate who had it. I don't think it was mine. Now I probably borrowed it or played it at his house, but I definitely remember playing it. And it's kind of a wacky take on sort of Daily Thompson Decathlon, where they're not serious events, you know, they're mad events. It just say on the back, you can do boot throwing, pole climbing, running up walls. I think there was a sack race, if I remember right. Yeah, sack race, pile of plates, as in you're stacking plates up, boot throwing, river jump, pole climbing, running up the wall, a pillow fight, and pogo. So, what fun. Now, I did have trouble getting this to load actually, but after about 7 or 8 attempts I finally got it to work. So I will show you a little bit of footage. Obviously, you know, things have moved on a lot, but it was interesting to play it again after all these years, and yeah, chuffed really. Now the next, or the second Spectrum game I picked up, I've actually wanted this for quite a while, but there's always been, you know, there's been something else I wanted more, or it's been in bad condition, or missing bits, or whatever. And I've picked up Robocop. Obviously, this is the version I wanted, the big, nice cardboard box. And it by no means mint, but it's in reasonable condition. And it is all complete with the poster. And fortunately, somebody else had put stored another tape in the box, so I've ended up with 2 games on it in the box as well. In addition to the Robocop, I also got Dragon Ninja. Now again, Dragon Ninja worked first time. Robocop I had a bit more trouble with. I can't get the 1:8 version to load, but I have got it loaded up the 48 version. So it was great to be able to play it. And it's quite a good game, to be honest. I mean, it's difficult, but I do think it's quite good, Robocop on the Spectrum, and it is a nice poster. And I don't think it's been blue tacked to the wall either, because it's quite clean. So I'm absolutely chuffed with that. Over the Moon. And it's maybe, I've never actually played the arcade version, which is the screenshots on the box. So it's made me actually want to try the arcade version if I've got it on the Xbox. I think I probably have. So I'm going to look into that, because it was really good on the Spectrum. Right, next up we've got a PlayStation game, and I won't beat about the bush. It's Namco Museum Volume 3. Now there's obviously 6 of these altogether, because they spell out the word Namco, and then the last one's like a copyright. You know, the R off the end of the Namco word. I haven't got them all, but I think I've only got 1 or 2 prior to this. But I particularly bought this one because Pole Position 2's on it, which, I mean, I can play it on other things to be fair, but I just saw this and it was a reasonable price, and I thought, well, I haven't got this one, so I'll pick it up. You've also got Galaxian, Fauzon, Miss Pac-Man, Dig Dug, and the Tower of Druaga. Now, Galaxian's obviously self-explanatory. It's, you know, sort of a more modern Space Invaders, if you like. Fauzon's kind of a weird one. That's more like well, it's not quite a puzzle game, but you've got a picture of something in the middle of the screen, and you've got to replicate that on your, you know, on the item that you're controlling, while avoiding the bad guys. Reasonable. Miss Pac-Man, obviously Miss Pac-Man. Dig Dug, I've never got on with Dig Dug, to be honest. It's not for me. Tower of Druaga, I thought that was quite good actually. I don't remember playing that before. Basically a maze game, but really quite good. But Pole Position 2 was great. I was really chuffed to play that again. It was brought back some great memories, because I'd recently played the arcade version itself at Arcade Club and enjoyed that. So that kind of made me want to buy that, really. Right, then the next ones I got from Vintage Gamer. Well, we'll do the Wii one I bought next. I mean, it's nothing spectacular. It's Little League Baseball. It's a Konami game, I think. Oh no, sorry, Activision. I have already got this on the American version, but it's quite tatty, so that's why I bought this, because it was really cheap. It's actually really quite a fun baseball game. This, I think it's £1.50 in CEX. They're really nice, kind of cutesy Japanese characters, like got kind of a cel-shaded look. Really simplistic arcadey baseball game. You really can't go wrong for the money if you like baseball. You know, I thoroughly recommend that over a more serious game for me. It's really good. Again, I'll put some footage up hopefully so you've seen it. Now the next, or the last two I got from Vintage Gamer, with these two. Yeah, these are both Saturn games, and like I said, I should have said that PlayStation game was Japanese. If you didn't sort of grasp it. Now these Saturn games are also Japanese, because they're generally the only ones I buy, as you know. And there's a set of 3 of these, and I'd been looking for these since I'd bought that twin stick controller that I showed in my previous episode, because 2 of the 3 work with the twin stick controller. Now I'd already bought one of them, and then I walked into Vintage Gamer, and Nick he'd actually got all 3, but I wasn't going to buy the second one again, so I bought the 2 that I hadn't got. So I might as well show you the 3 altogether now, because I've bought the 3 Gundam side story games. I bought 1 and 3 from Vintage Gamer, and I'd already bought the second one off eBay prior to going to Vintage Gamer. I wished I'd waited or not bought the eBay one now, to be honest, because the ones in Vintage Gamer were in better nick. Not that mine's terrible, but the other 2 are definitely nicer. Now, to be honest, I only bought these because they work with the twin stick, and I was expecting them to be quite unplayable, to be honest. But I was quite surprised. They're actually really quite well playable, and there's quite a fair bit of English text as well. I was expecting it to be all Japanese. I mean, don't get me wrong, there is Japanese, but they're by no means unplayable. All the menus are in English, and you can grasp what's going on. Obviously, if you don't know, it's a mech fighting game. Well, not fighting game, sort of mech 3D combat kind of game. They're very similar to the Gun Griffin games I've been picking up for the Saturn, and that one I got for the Xbox recently, if you watched my CEX roulette. Whereas you're controlling a mech and you've got to clear all the enemies within a level. Really good. And what I particularly like about these Saturn versions is the boxes, because they're not standard Saturn boxes. They're like in a cardboard sleeve, and the manual is part, if you can imagine and see, the manual is part of the cardboard sleeve. Try and get the angle right, like so. There you go. They're the kind of things you're controlling. This is the first one. This is the one that doesn't work with the twin stick. But you know, you've got to have all 3, haven't you? But to be honest, it plays really well with the pad. You don't need the twin stick. But I just got to buy them, you know, just to have something to use with it, really. But it's really good. I was really surprised by this. Excellent. And I mean, to be fair, all 3 are quite similar. They've got slightly different kind of maps where you can look at, you know, your enemies within the area. That's what slightly tweaked things as each one's gone on. But they are all very similar. And then the second one, this one and the third one do work with the twin stick, which I haven't tried yet. And it's the same principle. You've got the cardboard sleeve. The hinge is a bit worn on this one, that's why I said I wished I'd waited. But it's exactly the same. You've got the manual fixed into the box and the game. I just think they're really attractive, these boxes. You know. But you'll see from the footage, they're very similar. They've just got a slightly different setting. I don't know if that progresses throughout the game and remains in that same setting, or it changes, you know, from game to game. But that's Gundam Side Story 2, and then the last one is Gundam Side Story 3, and this is the one that tends to be more valuable than the first two. I don't know why, unless it's just the year of release. It's not particularly late. It's a 97 game, that. We've got 96 for Gundam 1, and so they're both 96. This one's 97, so it is a bit later. And again, it's exactly the same principle. And again, very similar in look, and they all play exactly the same, really. You know, you can, if you're not using the twin sticks, you turn with the shoulder buttons and you run forwards and backwards with the D-pad, and then you've got a lock on, a shoot and a jump, and that's about it. And it honestly really surprised me. I was expecting these to be, you know, unplayable, but they really turned out great. Absolutely chuffed to bits with him. That's Gundam Side Story 1, 2 and 3. 1 and 3 being from Vintage Gamer. So in actual fact, so all the ones I got from Vintage Gamer were all those. Yeah, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 6 games from Vintage Gamer. Oh no, all the bloody things up. Yeah, I got 6 games from Vintage Gamer altogether. I'm not going to go into prices, but needless to say, you know, I was more than happy with the price. Nick's always very fair with his prices, and always has been with me when I've been in there, as I'm sure you all know if you've been. It's a great place to shop, and you know, thoroughly recommend. If you've not been to Vintage Gamer, get yourself over there. Well, and Sega supplies for that matter. So yeah, there we go. That was the trip at the weekend. So wanted to get through that while it was fresh in my mind. Right, now before we go on to the other stuff, I've slipped down the VHS rabbit hole again. I wasn't particularly looking for any VHS, really. I've got out of the hole once. But then this bundle cropped up on Facebook Marketplace, and they were all pretty decent films, to be honest. And it worked out about 50p a film, and it was really local. So I thought, well, I'll be a fool not to buy it. I didn't want them all, but there were some that I wanted. So I'll run through half the ones I'm keeping here, and then I'll run through the other ones in the next episode. They're a mix of 80s and 90s films, but they're all in lovely condition, to be honest. I don't think they've been left in a shed or anything. And the first one we've got is Austin Powers. I love the green box. I mean, you know, who don't like a bit of Austin Powers? Groovy, baby. So that's that one. And then, I'm not seeing this in 20 or 30 years, I bet. And we've got Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Now, at the time, this was like, the special effects on this was mind-blowing, how cartoons and, you know, real film were mixed together. I don't know what it's going to age like now, to be honest. It might be crap. So I'm quite keen to bang that on and see what that's like. And this is one of the ones that drew me to buying the bundle, because I'd looked at buying this separately, and it can go, you know, getting on for 10 quid this at times, and that's Top Gun. I mean, not many more iconic films of the 80s than Top Gun, is there? So, chuffed to get that. And as I say, they're all in good nick, there's no mould on any of them. And the next one we've got, I've never actually seen this. War Games. So again, I'm quite curious to see what that's like as well. Because I'm sure it was supposed to be good at the time, wasn't it? So we shall find out. And then the last ones we'll show today, kind of a trilogy, and we've got the Die Hard trilogy. The first two are in a single box as a sort of set of Die Hard 1 and 2, and then we've got Die Hard with a Vengeance on its own. Again, you can't go wrong with them, can you really? And at 50p each, you know, I couldn't turn them down, to be honest. So I'm not fully down the VHS rabbit hole, but I've had a relapse. So I'll try and avoid further relapses. Right, next up, I think we'll show this Wii game. Now I've already got this, but I've bought it as a kind of upgrade, if you like, simply because I'd not seen it before, because it's a special edition, and I just chanced upon it in a local CEX, and I've picked up House of the Dead Overkill. As I say, it's a special edition, it's in a lovely cardboard sleeve, it's in nice condition, it's just, like I say, a cardboard sleeve, and then the regular game inside, which is complete. And I mean, it's a fantastic game, obviously. Not what you'd expect to find on the Wii maybe, but it's brilliant. But then you also get this sort of limited edition comic, which is called Prelude to an Overkill. Prelude, which is basically a black and white comic. But it's really quite cool, and there's just the odd bit of red in it. Nice lady there, shall we say? Ooh. There's plenty of lady action. So, as I say, really quite cool. And it does sell for slightly more than the standard version in CEX. If I remember right, I think the normal one is about 6 quid, and I think this one's about a tenner. There's about a £4 difference, I think. But I've not seen it before, and I had to buy it, you know. Absolutely chuffed with that. Got a few special editions on the Wii. Right, next up, we've got some PS2 to finish, and these are all, no they're not, some are off eBay. These first few are off eBay, and these first four are off eBay. These first three I bought together in a 3 for 2 offer, off the Super Retro Bros shop. It's a good shop on eBay if you're into imports in particular. There's always some good offers on, 3 for 2 or buy 2 get 1 half price or something. These happen to be 3 for 2, and this is the one I picked out 2, but this one I kind of made up the 3 for 2 with, really, so it was free in effect. And it's Greatest Striker by Taito. Now I didn't know anything about this. I did a bit of googling before I bought it, and it seemed to be an arcadey football game, which it is. Unfortunately, there's no manual with this one, and it is an arcadey football game, but it's got a kind of weird gimmick where the camera keeps switching position depending on where the ball is on the field, and it really puts you off. To begin with, I thought it was alright, but when I played it a second time, I wasn't thinking it was as good. It really throws you off how it changes viewpoint. So, I mean, it's alright. It looks quite nice, and it plays alright. But just the camera aspect of it, I'm not so keen on. Next up, then, we've got Everybody's Tennis. Now this is like Everybody's Golf, you know, cutesy characters. These are in nice condition. I'm not sure if this came out outside of Japan. I don't know. I've never seen a PAL version, but there might be one. I don't know. But it's a good tennis game. Obviously, it's what you'd expect it to be. Just like, you know, a fun arcade experience, just like Everybody's Golf and Eats Tennis. So yeah, well pleased with that really. And these 3 games I bought here for 3 for 2. They were all cheap. I think they were, might have been around a tenner for all 3, to be honest. And then this last one is the one that sort of I wanted to start with, and then found another 2 to go with it, Reaper. And that's Gundam Blaze. Now obviously if you've been paying attention and watching the other videos, you'll know I bought these for the Saturn, and then I bought that one on the Xbox, the only on Xbox game I did on CEX Roulette, and had a right result. And this is the last one I hadn't got. This is on the PS2 obviously. And it's got Capcom on it. I'm not sure I don't think they made it. They might have just released it in Japan, I don't know. There is an English version of this, which isn't that common. CEX have got it in stock. There's only 2 or 3, and then there does happen to be one local to me, which I've been to look at, and it's in shocking condition. Ideally, I'd like the English version because there's a fair bit of Japanese text in this. But much like those Gundam games and the other Gundam games, it's a beltingly good game. More I can play of this. 3D mech action again, wiping stuff out, you know, within the level, on the map. Cracking game. I really want the PAL version. But ideally, I want to drop on one at CEX. It's £2.50 in CEX. It's just unfortunate that one local to me is in terrible condition. I could risk one online, but they'd probably bloody send me that one now, Marlock. Again, it's in nice condition, but it's a good game, Gundam. Right, then the last 2 to go. The next one we've got is Guilty Gear Isuka. Now I've been on a bit of a Guilty Gear kick recently. Been picking up quite a few Guilty Gear games. I think this may be Japanese only on the PS2. Don't quote me on it, but I think it is. And it's great, just like the other Guilty Gear games, but unfortunately there's a major sort of issue, if you like, with this, in that God knows why they did it, but you've got to press a button to turn round. It's it's a one-on-one 2D fighter, as you'll see in the footage. But instead of just, automatically switch when the fighters exchange places, instead of automatically switching to face the character, for some unknown reason you've got to press a button to turn around. What they were thinking, God only knows. It's a stupid mechanic and it ruins the game. There is also a secondary walking brawler version of the game on the disc as well. It's called Guilty Gear Boost, I think it's called. Actually quite good, but unfortunately it's got the same stupid turn mechanic. I don't know what they were thinking, because aside from that it's really good, but unfortunately it really does hamper the game. So I mean, I'm pleased to have it, but could have been so much more that. Then the last one for today, you'll be pleased to know, if you're still with me, I hope you are, understand if you're not, it's another half an hour gone. Now this one I picked up off retrogames.co.uk. Fantastic website and service you get from there. I've said before, go check it out, retrogames.co.uk. He's also got his own YouTube channel, and he's Jason, he's an amazingly entertaining bloke. Love his channel. Go check him out, do yourself a favour, it's brilliant. But anyway, I've picked up King of Fighters Maximum Impact on the PS2, and as you can see, it's a nice sort of special edition box set. Again, in a nice cardboard sleeve, it's in beautiful condition, almost like new. And in addition to the game, you get like a, what you call it, it's a mini book if you like, with all the characters and move sets in it. Beautiful thing. And as I say, the game, you also get a DVD with it. I'm not sure what that is, I haven't tried it. It's a 10-year anniversary of the game, so I don't know if it's a DVD of, you know, like 10 years of King of Fighters, I'm guessing. But anyway, it's a bit of a, it's not really like your typical King of Fighters. It's mainly a story mode game. It's still a 2D one-on-one fighter, and you can play it in tag teams like the previous version. But it's predominantly a story-driven one-player experience with one character, as you'll see in the footage. And it's more, you know, it's kind of 2.5D if you like. The graphics are quite different to the traditional King of Fighters. But it still plays well, and I think it looks great, to be honest. It's probably not going to suit everybody, but personally speaking, I really enjoyed it. Cracking game. I'm not sure if it's available PAL or not, to be honest. Maximum Impact, maybe, I don't know. But there we go. Anyway, that's King of Fighters Maximum Impact on the Japanese PS2. And there we go. We've got to another end of another episode, and 32 minutes gone. So I'll shut up and just say thanks for watching if you've stuck with me this far. And there'll probably be another pickups video next week, I'm guessing, because I've just got too many to get through. But let me know if you've got any thoughts on any of that lot, and I'll see you soon, all being well. Sayonara.